What do we know about the Stanford GSB? We know that it's in Silicon Valley and promotes its ties to this global capital for startup innovation. We know that legendary courses like Startup Garage have spawned hundreds of companies that have raised billions of dollars, including DoorDash is just one example. We know that the school has a West Coast vibe and that a perennial favorite class is Touchy-Feely, where students learn about themselves, where they learn self-awareness. We know all these things and more, but what don't we know about the Stanford GSB? The first thing that surprises most applicants about the GSB is that even though a very large number of students do actually start their post-MBA careers in entrepreneurship, 25% of a recent class did just that, many students do go into tech, consulting, and finance, which are very conventional post-MBA positions. 77% of a Stanford GSB class that's actually pursuing a job placement rather than launching a firm goes into finance, tech, and consulting. Almost all of the 38% of the class that goes into finance goes into VC, PE, or hedge funds, rather than the more pedestrian investment banking. Meanwhile, 24% of the class goes into tech, mostly in product management, and 14% goes into consulting. Still, let's return to that number, 25%. 25% of a class starting a venture is a whopping lead over its rivals. At HBS, that number is 13%. At MIT, it's 8%. At Wharton, 3%. And at most remaining schools, the numbers are insignificant. So, yes, you can, as you know, graduate and launch a venture. But one thing that GSB graduates have told us, and that you might be surprised to learn, is that if you're not on that path, you can feel like you're not succeeding. That going into those conventional roles can feel disappointing, as silly as that is. Not everyone is meant to start a business, but at the GSB, some feel that huge actual successes like entering product management at a tech firm or even starting your business later is somehow not enough. Fortunately, the breadth and depth of resources offered at Stanford means that you can carve out your own path to success. And to that end, many students don't realize just how interdisciplinary the program can be, that you're encouraged to explore beyond the GSB. The GSB doesn't have majors, which frees students to take a broad lens, and 85% of students take at least one course at one of Stanford's 7 schools, including schools for engineering, medicine, law, education, humanities and sciences, and sustainability. And you can take bursts and short classes in the D School, which operates as an interdisciplinary lab of sorts, bringing students from the 7 schools together to reimagine problems and challenge their own thought processes. Similarly, at the BioX and the Door School of Sustainability programs, you collaborate with students across different fields to solve the toughest problems facing our world today. Finally, if you haven't visited Palo Alto lately, you may be surprised to learn how many big city amenities are right in town, from global cuisine at restaurants on University Avenue to trendy stores at the Stanford Shopping Center. Further, not only can GSB students get around Palo Alto easily on shuttle buses or bikes, they no longer need to trek to San Francisco to take in big city culture and shows. World-class venues on campus like the Bing Concert Hall and the Frost Amphitheater regularly host performers such as the San Francisco Philharmonic and the San Francisco Ballet. You can even catch a visit from the London Symphony Orchestra at Bing, with Stanford student pricing no less. And you have your full complement of college bands passing through if you're just interested in good old rock and roll. So, the GSB is more entrepreneurial than anywhere else, but still has a little more conventional than one might think. And the GSB has students who dream so big that others might get vertigo, but is still an academically stimulating place where students can have an interdisciplinary adventure, just like one might expect in a place as surprisingly diverse and accessible as Palo Alto. Ready to learn more about the GSB? Check out onTrack by mbaMission, an innovative MBA application platform that has over a dozen lessons on the GSB alone. We also cover many other top programs and every aspect of the application process at each. Get started with our 2-minute questionnaire and don't miss our next video on how to tackle the GSB's essay questions.